What's good, YouTube? And all my subscribers, future subscribers, current ones. I know we only have one right now, but it always starts with one. Today we're going to continue the story. We talked about last time of how I died and came back and kind of the foundation of all my other stories. But today we're going to talk about when I got released from the hospital. I was under the impression that I was going to be fine, and this was just going to be a small thing in the past. I was going to have to do some therapy, and I would get right back to it. But it turned out that wouldn't be true. I started experiencing this like really bad hip pain, right? I didn't know what it was. Everyone thought I was kind of lying, even my parents. I wasn't doing well in school because the pain was so bad. Eventually, they took me into the doctor, and I found out that I had a vascular necrosis of the left hip. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's loss of blood supply to the left hip. This typically happens with older people or bodybuilders who use steroids a lot. It disintegrates the joints, and they have problem with blood flow because of that. So it's usually not something that happens to somebody that's 13, 14 years old. As I went into multiple doctors to get different opinions, I found out I was too young to have a total hip replacement, which would give me a total hip, a full range of motion. So what they proposed was a hip fusion, and for those of you who don't know what that is, they basically fuse your femur to the hip, and you have 0 degrees of motion. Your hip is pretty much rendered useless. It's just like I have a leg, but I really don't. And the first doctor I went to that did the surgery decided to put me on a spica body cast at the time. By the time the surgery happened, I was 16 years old, a sophomore in high school by the time everything went going. And that summer, they put me in a spica body cast. So for 2.5 months, I was in a body cast from right here all the way down to my left ankle. It didn't go on my right leg at all, but the whole upper extremity, I couldn't move at all. I was basically in a coffin for all summer, and that was a very miserable summer. After that summer, I get the cast taken off. I think that the surgery was successful, and for like 6 months, I didn't have pain. But after like the 6 months, the pain started to come back, and it really started to bug me. And eventually I said something to my parents, and we went to a different orthopedic doctor, and I found out that hip fusion didn't work, and that body cast was pretty much for nothing. And I found out it was inhumane to put somebody 16 years old in a spica body cast from the other doctor. So after all that, we decided that I need to get my hip fused again because I'm 17, still way too young for a hip replacement. I still haven't had my hip replaced. I'm still waiting on that. But they put 6 screws in my leg and synthetic bone to hold it all together, and that took. And ever since then, I've had a lot of lower back pain, things like that. But the real dilemma started happening after that second surgery. I realized that like I wasn't going to be normal. This wasn't going to be something that was temporary. This was going to be like a lifelong thing. And with that, it really was difficult. That's really when I started struggling to figure out who I was, because my whole family is like sports, and I never really figured out an outlet, because everybody just like wanted me to play sports, and I couldn't do that, and I felt like I was letting people down. So it was really difficult to kind of figure out who I am, and that's kind of what is going to lead us into all the story times coming up in the next videos. These are the moments that made me realize I'm not normal. I'm not going to be able to live a normal life. I'm going to have to adapt to this. And it was hard because I didn't really have anyone to talk to. and it led me down trying to numb the pain. And we're going to get into some crazy stories on the next videos. It's just, we're going to keep going. This one was a little short. This is just like a part 2 of loss in my injury. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, because we're going to just continue this. I'm going to be grinding multiple videos every day for you guys. I'm going to be going hard. I have a lot of crazy stories, and again, I just want to show people that like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can do it. You can pull out of this. It's just hard sometimes, and it's hard when you feel like you're alone. So I hope these videos are helping people feel like they're not alone. So again, please subscribe, like. If you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. I'll take those into consideration. I love constructive criticism because I really want this to blossom into a big community. And again, the captain thanks you all for tuning in. And in 2 more days will be another video, maybe even tomorrow. Peace.